very pleased that we were able to fight back after being down 10, really coming out flat. But they had a lot to do with that. You got to give them a lot of credit. Morehead State, that's a team that last year won 23 games. It has been through an unbelievable ordeal with the coaching change in the middle of the season, all the distractions that brought to these kids, not having stability. I think they're really well coached. And their offense is really difficult to guard. They won 23 games a year ago with these kids. They're going to win a lot of games in that league. They're good. And we struggled offensively in the first half, not being able to attack their switching man-to-man. They were switching everything. It really bothered. It's the first time we've seen a team this year switch 1 through 5, all down screens, all pin-down actions, all ball screens. And so that was new for us, and it really stifled us. And in the first half, I mentioned that we had the ball in half court 33 times, and 22 of those times we passed it 3 times or less. That's a recipe for not being very good offensively against good teams. And we've got to learn. We did the same thing in the first half against East Tennessee, and we've got to learn from our mistakes here. And so we'll come back and work at that real hard. But I'm really pleased with how we fought back. Our defense was much better in the second half. I thought that obviously Stapleton gave us great energy to start the second half with his defense. I thought that Q and IJ were terrific in the second half offensively. Being senior, a senior and a sophomore were the most experienced. They played like it, and that was a tough, hard-fought win.
What did you tell the guys at halftime?
We just talked about, what I'm telling you, how we're going to defend them better. Like, we came out trying to switch the ball screens because it's the Memphis action that, Calipari did a great job with when he was at Memphis. And you see a lot of NBA teams running it now, and we have a portion of it. But they really spread you out. They're running moving screens that are hard to call. A guy named Vance Wahlberg, who's from Fresno, California, really is the one that came up with this whole offense. And you see how much it's affected the entire game. I mean, it's really, quite innovative. But we were trying to switch ball screens, for example, with him, and they were posting him, and it was hurting us. And we went away from that. It hurt us even more. So we went back to him just full fronting at 5'8.5", barefoot. And I thought that helped us. But we were better in the gaps. And so I thought that our defense, their energy just picked up. And we talked about how we're going to attack their man-to-man, and that they're switching. You can't shoot after 2 passes every time and then be back on defense again. And they're being patient. In the first half, they took 28 shots and made 58% of them, 57%. So that was not good. But again, I give a lot of credit to Morehead State too, because they're a very, very talented bunch. And the kid from Alabama, Moon, is really, really special. He really gets it. He knows how to play. He's a high major SEC, ACC player.
Q had a career night. He was talking about a while ago that his wrist is a little sore and stuff. Is he even more banged up than he lets on?
Well, he's banged up all over because of how he plays. I mean, his knees, his legs. I mean, the guy's always falling, because of how hard he plays. But these 3 days off for him will be good. He's doing a great job. We got to get him to stop gambling so much defensively. I mean, if you went and looked at what we get out of the gambles versus what we lose out of them, it's hurting us. He's got to be more. What's the word I want to look? He's got to gamble less, and he's got to be smarter about it and not doing it on every play. That's what he does all the time, and it hurts us at times.
Talk about the difference in Eric Howland this year and his ability to protect the rim, and how much of a difference is that?
Eric's done a great job. He has 23 block shots now in 11 games. Sometimes, though, he's trying to block too much as opposed to meeting the penetration. We call it attacking penetration. So he'll sit there and wait on the guy instead of going with his body to step out and actually try to meet him early. But he's done a terrific job, and a lot of it's just him being healthy. He was injured literally for 2 or 3 years with that knee, and really proud of how much he's improved in 1 year. And it's his hard work. You know, he's gotten tougher. He's learned to compete. He's got leadership qualities. His biggest issue is just his endurance, and he has some things he has to deal with there and overcome. And really, you know, happy for him.
Y'all were 1 of 8 from three-point range in the first half, and come out and make 3 of the first 4. Do you think that those first threes in the second half kind of got the team going?
Well, down 10, it gave us some momentum because it boomed. I mean, that shows you with the 3-point shot. And we were 5 for 20. We're shooting still a lot of threes. And I think we were pretty good shooting. We were shooting bad threes in the first half. The threes in the second half were better shots. Tyson made a big three. I think it was 2 by Q and 1 by Tyson, or maybe IJ made one because they were going underneath the screens. And he's got to step up and shoot those. You know, I thought IJ was hesitant. They watched East Tennessee tape, and they're going underneath on the ball screens. Tonight, he was a willing shooter, and it was better for us. And he scores 19 points on 10 shots, made all his foul shots. So I'm really pleased with IJ's play tonight.
He was pretty big down the stretch. What did you think of him down the stretch?
Yeah, he's making all his foul shots. Number one, protecting the ball, playing smart. Did a good job. You know, tonight we had 10 assists. We'd like to have a few more than that, but. You know, one of our things we didn't do well was our foul shooting. Our foul shooting at one point was really bad until the end of the game when it was really horrendous. And I would tell you this though, that I'm really happy for our team. It would have been really tough to go into Christmas off a home loss. I can imagine both ways here, and that would have been brutal for me and for everybody. So I'm really thankful, and I want to tell everybody out there to have a great Christmas, a Merry Christmas with their family and friends, and to remember the reason for the season. It's Jesus Christ that we're celebrating, His life and being born into this world and saving all of us. So, I'm really grateful for all of my blessings, and I have family here. I'm hoping that my daughter and my mom made it. I don't think they did. They got probably cut off in Atlanta. I might have to come tomorrow, but I have a brother and a sister here tonight, so I'm really looking forward to seeing them and spending a little time with my family.
What would end up starting Xavier over Mario?
Just a little discipline thing, and Mario will be back in the starting lineup on the 29th.
What are you going to do? How long are you going to give the guys off on the actual report back?
Good question. They have 3 days off now, so they're going to have the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th off. They're going to lose a little wind, but to me, this is a very important break. It's important for them to spend time with their family, their friends, to have an opportunity to have a break in our season, essentially, as we get ready to go and ramp up for the most important part of our year, which is SEC conference play. And our conference is very, very tough, and we're going to be challenged night in and night out, and so we want to really have good practices leading up to that January 3rd game, with the game on the 29th being the last non-conference game against UMKC, who beat us last year.
You forced 24 turnovers. You only had 6 turnovers. Which of those numbers makes you happy?
We forced 16, I think. Is that what it says?
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. 16 turnovers.
Yeah, but it's still good because we only had 5.
Yeah.
I mean, in other words, that's a huge difference in the game. You're pointing it out, and I didn't even see that. Thanks for, is 11 possessions difference was huge, really huge, and we just got to do it without gambling as much, And again, we're gonna look. That's the best 3-9 team that I've seen in my memory. They played a very difficult schedule, but they're going to win a lot of games in the Ohio Valley.